The long-awaited season finale of Andor is here. This Star Wars live-action series has impressed us with the visuals, outstanding writing, and character development. From complex characters like Luthen Rael to our hero, Cassian Andor. The season film delivers some excellent moments while keeping us watching for the second season, which will be some time away. Spoiler warning, this is our full review of Andor's season finale, Rix Road. Greetings my young Padawans, my name is Captain Jack and welcome to Star Wars Now. Directed by Benjamin Caron and written by Tony Gilroy, Rix Road serves the 12th and final episode of Andor's first season. It answers the question of what happens to several of our characters as they all arrive on Ferrix, while also leaving us with many more as we look to the future in the second season of Andor. Now, before we jump into this video, use the force and hit that subscribe and like button to never miss a video from the team here at Star Wars Now. As always, if you're talking about Star Wars, we want to hear about it, so let's go. This episode excels at building tension and action. As I'll mention later, and keep doing so, the soundtrack to Andor helps this episode stand out well, if not this entire season. Some characters felt a little out of place here and there, like Dedra Meero, for example, though it made sense that she needed to be on Ferrix on the front line and see what was happening. But for a moment, I did fear there was actually some crazy love scene between Meero and Cyril Khan. Thankfully not. We're not going down the Rise of Skywalker again, I'm still having flashbacks. Having Cyril and Sergeant Moss back was great. Thankfully we got a small bit of comic relief in the episode via the pair of them swapping their hats. Hopefully Moss will be a character who comes back into the fold for the second season. Additionally, we've got to wonder what route will Cyril take. I could see him becoming part of the ISB or perhaps being a field agent. It really is a matter of waiting and seeing where it goes. Following the explosive events of last week's episode, Daughters of Ferrix, I thought Luthen would surely meet his demise in the season finale. While he doesn't, his fate is left on somewhat of a cliffhanger. He's confronted by the man he came to kill, Cassian Andor. But I'm glad they did not off him. Stellan Skarsgård has done a fantastic job at giving the character of Luthen life in the Star Wars universe. I want to see what they do with him in the future. It's unlikely he'll make it into the events of Rogue One. Still, Luthen does not do much in this episode. He just stands there watching as the fireworks effects kick off. However, I think there's more going on here in these scenes than we actually realise. If we look back at Luthen's speech, this plays into part of it. What he has done is finally coming to life. He kind of had an indirect effect on the events in this episode. While not directly responsible for the Ferrix riots, his working with Cassian led to all of this. In essence, Luthen is standing and watching what he's dreamed of unfolding in front of his eyes. The Galactic Empire is being challenged and pushed back, almost a breaking point on the planet. You can almost see him take pride in what's going on, which works well for his character. Without him being killed or captured, there wasn't much he could do in Ferrix in these events. I would like to have seen more repercussions of the previous episode, specifically if he made contact with his assistant once again.
Weeks. Authority is brittle. Oppression is the mask of fear. Remember that. And know this. The day will come when all these skirmishes and battles, these moments of defiance will have flooded the banks of the Empire's authority, and then there will be one too many. One single thing will break the siege. Remember this. Try.
Oppression is the mark of fear. I'm so glad we got to feature Nemik's Manifesto in this episode. I knew it would come back, not to haunt us, but just to grace us with its presence one more time. Our socialist twink, as some have nicknamed him on Twitter, finally got more to work with in the season finale. Hopefully, and I say hopefully, there is more to come from his manifesto. Cassian has it, so it's only a matter of time before it actually heads to being part of the actual Alliance to Restore Republic official manifesto, if that's the route they want to take. What Nemik says in his recordings echoes true throughout this episode. Freedom is a pure idea. All of this points to random acts of insurrection. The frontier of rebellion is everywhere. It all makes sense when we look at what Nemik says on a grander scale. You can look at all the heroes of the rebellion and see this echo true. From Anto Krieger to Saw Gerrera to the rebels on Lothal, by the time we reach Star Wars Rebels. It's all very true. Sadly, it feels like this episode does not have much time to use Mon Mothma very much. Due to everything blowing up in Ferrix, we're left with only 2 small scenes. 3 if you count the mentions of her. However, the cracks in her and Perrin's marriage are forming more and more. It is a recurring theme in the entire episode when you think about it. But we finally see the culmination of Mon's dealings with a Chandrilan gangster, mob boss, whatever you want to call Davos Sculdun. The introduction of Mon's daughter and Davos' son will surely be a storyline carried into the second season. Personally, I still think we could have done a little bit more of Mon in this first season, but it is a hard chessboard to move on in this area of the Star Wars universe, and she's not openly defying the Empire just yet. We see the Empire cracking onto her via means we saw coming in the first set of Andor episodes. Continuing on, after her suspecting it and Mon Mothma confirming it a while back, her driver is an Imperial spy. He's seen listening in private conversations and meeting with ISB agent Blevin. However, the big turnaround is the Empire celebrating the defeat of Anto Krieger. This follows on what we've seen in the previous episode, which had Luthen deliberately burn Krieger to save Saw and the other rebels. So what I do find interesting is we see part of Nemik's Manifesto play out. Also, something Cassian said in the first episode. The Empire is so proud, they're looking over important details. Dedra Meero is ultimately right, having Anto alive would have made more sense. But as Major Partizag says, they wanted to ensure the Emperor was happy. This has cost the Empire a valuable resource, and you can see where the cracks in the Empire start forming and the regime comes apart. We've of course got to talk about the funeral march scene. This sees the people of Ferrix march up on the Imperial troopers to honour Martha, who was passed away in the previous episode. What I love about this episode is the soundtrack. The tense build moments kind of remind me of Game of Thrones in a sense. You know, where these tense situations are amplified by the music that is building as well. The outstanding soundtrack fully amplifies this episode, if not the series as a whole. Nicholas Britell should do more work in the Star Wars universe. I would love to listen to it. Sure, the season finale could have done a few things differently, but overall, this delivered a stellar performance from all those involved. The world building was on point, as well as the character development for those we watched over the first season. I'm still wondering about Vel and Cinta and their next part. I would like to have seen more of them in this episode, however Cinta did get her revenge against the creepy ISB agent, fatally stabbing him in a doorway and leaving him to die. Ooh, it's brutal. It does make you think of the aftermath on Ferrix. Is it going to be deadly? If we look at the Empire's reaction to Aldhani earlier in the first season, I do wonder what will happen next. Andor has excelled at showing us a new way of Star Wars storytelling, a way that does not revolve around the cameo of the week, more just some original and real characters. In the first episode, we saw how real things were for these people. While yes, it is just a TV show, you can imagine these characters existing and breathing in real life. This was something outlined from the very beginning of Andor. Hopefully, it continues into the second season. This show has built on these complex characters and further developed others, like Mon Mothma. Therefore, they deserve good endings and for the stories to wrap up efficiently. Given Tony Gilroy's approach to the first season, we're in safe hands for the second season. Sadly, we'll need to wait some time before the second season of Andor comes around. The second season will consist of another 12 episodes. Thankfully, Andor Season 2 has already begun production here in the United Kingdom. However, it will be some time before Cassian Andor returns to our screens. As Tony Gilroy reveals in an interview with Collider, most of Andor's production time is spent on post-production. This is also the fancy visual effects you see like Luthen's space battle. So ultimately, we'll see you on the other side. Thankfully, we've got more Star Wars content coming down the pipeline, with the Clone Wars sequel series, The Bad Batch, returning in January 2023 with its second season. Okay, Exalted Ones, that's it for me. What did you think of Andor's season finale? Did it live up to your expectations, or are you still feeling a little underwhelmed? We welcome your honest feedback. Get commenting. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with the latest Star Wars news, lore, and more. You can also follow us on social media as well, but please let us know your thoughts in the video comment section below, because if you're talking Star Wars, we want to hear about it. That's it for myself today on Star Wars Now. I've been Captain Jack, and we'll see you next time. May the Force be with you.